We'll start with the DXY, which has been fairly interesting this morning. You could say the least. Very, very strong this morning, and looks like price basically just rejected the low of the range. So we're back to square one right now with the dollar. Equal highs, equal lows, 3 rejections of each level. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now looks like price is on its way to go and test the upper level again of the same range. So as I've said, as long as prices rejecting this area, looking to buy low and sell high until we get the breakout. Direction is still very much up in the air. I was favoring us to break to the downside this week. I still kind of am. But of course, until I do see a commanding breakout of this level, I'm not really looking to get excited or do anything in terms of finding positions. So even if we do break to the upside, I'll be very bullish on the market. Let's say we do something like that. The plan will be looking for pullbacks and buying opportunities to take this back to highs around 100.2. So either which way, I'm still seeing opportunities, whether we do break to the upside or to the downside. But of course, as of yet, we haven't got that. We're still very much within the range. And it looks like price is approaching the high, or going to be approaching the high probably the next day or two. So naturally, as price gets there, same again. If price does reject well, I think that's still a great place to be looking for shorts, provided we see some good entry confirmations. And we can look for price to come right back down again. If we do see a breakout, then we'll speak on that. Like I said, possibly the buys could come in and we can target some highs up there. But until we get the breakout, we just got to expect the range to continue essentially. And that's pretty much what we got here. And a lot of strength off the low this morning. So dollar is definitely strong right now. And of course, that will mirror onto other USD pairs. Excuse me. And yeah, you can see exactly the same situation occurring there with euro dollar. Equal lows, equal highs, price rebounding off the high. Again, as price is not breaking out, you're looking to short the pair, and a lovely reaction and a lovely continuation this morning. So now it looks like the euro, we're probably going to end up back at the lows here again, 1.159. And the cycle repeats. No need to overcomplicate it. And the beauty of a range is that maybe, conditions aren't particularly great in terms of trending market conditions, but ranges do allow you to kind of simplify in terms of where you're looking to get involved. Especially if you're just looking to get involved at the highs and lows. That's really where your focus is. So when price is in between, you're sitting in your hands, you're not really doing anything. You're just going to keep an update, what price is doing, maybe set some alerts. But when price does reach the low, reach the high, and that's when you're looking for your opportunities mostly. And if price does reject well, then you're looking for price to continue within the range. If we're seeing some signs of breakouts, then we can look at either taking some breakout opportunities or waiting for some pullbacks and some breaking retest opportunities which could set up. And that's the reality here with euro as well. Another push off the high. As price makes its way to the low, that's where we're going to be looking to monitor price a bit more closely. And then that's where we're going to see either do we get another bounce or do we get a breakout. Again, if we do get a breakout, then we're looking for a push all the way back to 1.14. If, of course, price does reject the level, then we're looking for a push back to where we came from, 1.17. So that's really all the analysis for euro, keeping it very, very simple, just looking at the key areas which price is paying attention to, and then keeping an eye to see how price reacts with them. As of right now, key rejection off the high, momentum looks really good. There's probably a good chance we do end up back at support, and then that's when I'll start to keep a bit more, keep more updated with price and actually monitoring what it's doing, because that's where we will find opportunities. As for pound USD, likewise as well, really strong move to the downside this morning. Pound looks like it's a lot weaker than euro, a lot more violent of a move there to the downside there for pound. But again, same situation applies for pound USD as well, back at key support. So the plan is literally just waiting to see what price does here. You can see once, twice, you could argue a third time, although we didn't quite test the area to the pip, but mostly coming into that vicinity where buyers will be looking to enter the market. And then we're there again, of course, this time with a massive candle. Again, momentum can be deceiving, especially within a range. You look at that candle and you go, oh, wow, price potentially is going to plummet now. That could be the case, but in a range, things are always quite 50-50, and momentum, as I said, can be very deceiving. You look at the size of this bullish candle, how many people thought price was just going to continue higher? you know, of course, in hindsight, we can see that didn't happen. So momentum is never really something to go by in a range. Of course, if we're in trending environments, you can use that to your favor a lot more. But in these choppy conditions, I wouldn't be completely surprised if we just flip and see a push back up. You know, we saw a strong example of that in DXY not too long ago. Really bearish, aggressive candle coming back to lows. Your price turn on the dime very, very nicely there. So inside a range, don't get too excited about momentum and big candles because they can be quite deceiving. Same with this candle as well. I'm not saying it will be. Maybe we do see the breakout, but we'll have to wait and see. Wait for confirmations, wait for price to actually break the range. And then we can talk about opportunities. But yeah, if price does break to the downside, then I am looking for a push back to 1.315, which of course will take us back to that swing low. And likewise, if price does reject that level and show some good entry confirmations, push back into resistance, potentially the high there as well, will be the plan. So it's really 50-50. Again, the skill, the thing to monitor here is really what price is doing at that area, especially on the excuse me, my voice is really croaky today. Especially on the lower time frames, this is where you kind of monitor price in terms of wicks, rejection, entry, candle closures as well. Right now, not enough information to really indicate anything really other than price is finding support. So I'd wait for more information, more candlesticks to kind of show us what we're doing. Is momentum starting to tire? Are we starting to find support? Is momentum continuing? Those are the key things I'll be trying to keep up to date with pound USD. But at the moment, testing critical support. Dollar CAD looked remotely bullish, not very bullish though, which goes to show you how strong CAD is as well. Because looking at other USD pairs, of course, taking a look at the DXY, you can see there's definitely a lot of strength for USD at the moment. But dollar CAD barely budged, so CAD is very, very strong as well. But yeah, I still like the shorts for dollar CAD. Again, it will be make or break in terms of how price gets there and how it reacts. If we do pick up some steam and impulsively push to the upside, that definitely does reduce the quality of the opportunity. But if price can correctively push to the upside nice and slow, reject well here, then yeah, I would love to take a short and look for continuation back into the lows here. I'm still pretty bearish on dollar CAD itself. So I'll be keeping up to date with dollar CAD. It's one of the pairs on my watch list, so I'm actively looking to see if I can find some positions on this one. Again, it's still probably 2, 3, 4 days maybe away from actually giving a setup, because we need to get there first, react well before I do find an entry, but that's what I'm looking for, and targets back to support. I do think we can go further, but yeah, at least for the next few days, that's what I'm looking for, and then we can speak in a bit more detail about some further targets if we do see that progress. But for now, dollar CAD still looking at this bearish structure, and shorts have that zone. Nice area of supply, really strong drop. Makes a lot of sense to me. Aussie dollar, very interesting as well. Of course, another push down. Again, USD strength's going to affect all these USD pairs, so they're all going to move in a similar format. Of course, depending on the currency's width, it might be slightly stronger or weaker, as we saw with dollar CAD and then pound USD. Aussie wasn't particularly weak, so we didn't see such a violent move as compared to maybe pound USD, but still a pretty strong move, and price did react with resistance there. That's basically the setup we were talking about coming into the week. I'm not too sure about the longer term move for Aussie dollar. I think we are still quite flat as a pair, so the better opportunities with Aussie dollar is just focusing at the key areas of resistance and support, and that's really where your focus should be, not trying to find some intricate pullback opportunities, because the market isn't trending well. If it's not trending well, then looking for trending opportunities is just going to be difficult by default. Not that you won't be able to catch any, but it's just a harder environment, more likely to get wicked out, more likely to see momentum fail in these conditions. So the best way to trade them would be just taking advantage of the conditions, which you're seeing a lot of choppy behavior, price rejecting key levels of support and resistance. That's where you want to position yourself. And as we can see, price did react pretty well. Nice push down. I did say though, keep an eye on this area. So if you were short, if I was short here, that would be an area which I do keep a close eye on. If I do see sufficient rejection, I probably would just close that trade early, because I don't really have a bias for Aussie dollar. I'm looking at the higher time frames, looks really flat to me. I can see a world where we start to potentially roll over. I can see a world where maybe this trend does still have steam. Of course, USD will play a big part in that. So I don't really have a clear-cut bias. Therefore, just playing the highs and playing the lows is really how I see Aussie dollar for now. So even if we do take a push, take a dive back down to the low, I think that'll be a great place to pick up some longs again, and we'll go from there. So yeah, very, very flat price action, I must say, for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar, a bit more interesting. Didn't quite test the upper level of the channel I had, so that was a bit unfortunate because I wanted to see a bit more upside there. And we did test this area of supply, so looks like that was enough for price to roll over. But I was kind of hoping for a bit more of a test of that trend line. We've seen some really nice reactions at that area, more or less. I was kind of hoping to see price come in with that confluence. So you've got the confluence of the supply zone plus the trend line. You know, if you can see some rejection there, I think that's a smart place for a short. But unfortunately, we did fall a few pips short of that, and we are looking pretty bearish. So I wouldn't really do anything right now with New Zealand dollar, really. In the middle of the channel, that's where, again, a place which I want to stay far away from. If I'm looking for opportunities within a channel, it's up at the high or down at the low. In the middle is kind of where I do want to stay away. Even in descending and ascending channels, it's just not the best place to get involved. So I'll let price do what it wants here. It might want to come up again, might want to continue lower. We have to wait and see. If it does push to low again, naturally, there could still be a nice buy on that reaction. If we do push back to the upside and maybe see another higher low here form, then again, the shorts could come into play. But at the moment, middle of nowhere, I wouldn't really try and risk anything here for New Zealand dollar. So I'll stay away until we do get back to the highs or the lows of the channel. As for gold, yeah, very, very interesting. More momentum. I do think we saw new all-time highs. Yes, we did, plus past 3,500. So gold did do its job in that regard. A bit of a reaction afterwards. Momentum still on the up, so buy still look the best bet. Again, it would be nice to actually see a retest of this zone. I mean, we could probably argue we did see a retest, a very quick one. But it would be nice to see something a bit more like this for gold, which could actually set up a very nice swing trade, taking it back to highs and probably even further as well. But yeah, gold is really bullish at the moment. Yes, we've rejected the high, so maybe be a bit careful about longs in this area because we just had a nasty rejection. But momentum's still up. You know, we're clearly breaking through key resistance. So I go to the daily chart. You know, you can see we're now getting daily candle closures above this area. Weekly chart looking very, very bullish as well. So strength is really in favor of the bulls right now. And until I see some evidence that that's not the case anymore, so maybe some violent candlesticks closing to the downside, maybe breaking back underneath this level, then I'll probably start to back away. But for now, you know, buys is definitely the best bet of gold, and still looking to take that higher. It makes the most sense. And likewise with silver as well. Very, very bullish with this one. I actually probably like silver a little bit more. I'm keeping a close eye on this brief little range here. Also, this area looks really good as well, depending how deep of a pullback. Yeah, depending how deep of a pullback we get, will of course depend on the area which we look to buy from. And of course, other factors like entry confirmations and how we do retrace will play a vital role in the level I do look to buy from. But either one looks really good to me at the moment. I'm not too sure if we will see a big enough pullback to get here. So I think in terms of just realistic areas to buy, this definitely does tick the box. But if we do have a deeper pullback than expected, then yeah, this level could do the job as well. But yeah, silver still very much in a long-term uptrend on the higher time frames. Momentum's picked up recently. Yes, that was a pretty big bearish candle, but in respective of that momentum, it hasn't really changed much. As long as we don't see maybe another big one pushing down, then maybe that will be a bit awkward. But for now, momentum is still very much with the buyers. Clear areas with demand, support and resistance below us. If we could see some healthy rejections at those areas, I think that's a smart place to long, back to highs, so on and so forth.